Hi, my name is Troy Anderson. I'm the owner of Anderson Training Systems, a fitness coaching business based in Tempe, Arizona. I'm going to share a couple kettlebell drills, or actually a progression to one kettlebell drill with you today. It's a movement called the Renegade row. It's a very foundational movement that's going to really challenge your core and your upper back and back strength. As you can see behind me, I have two kettlebells placed out on the floor. And actually just looking at something up here like from a push-up position, and that's actually what the introduction movement is going to be to this, is basically just to hold a push-up position on a bell. A couple things you want to be aware of about your bell is you want to have, the smaller your bells, they're generally going to have a little bit smaller surface area on the bottom. So you want to make sure that your bell has, the smaller the surface area here, the more challenging it's going to be. So sometimes if you're just getting started and going to do the progression of this, you might actually want to use a bigger bell than you normally use. It's going to give you a little more stable surface before you progress into the Renegade row, which is probably going to be, you're probably going to have to use a little bit lighter bell. These are 12 kilo kettlebells. These are relatively light for me today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the push-up hold progression of the Renegade row, and I'm actually going to show you the Renegade row. I'm going to give you a couple coaching cues while I'm doing it, and then I'm going to come back and finish up. So what we're going to do is get a nice solid grip. We're going to have feet about hip width apart. We're going to have hands over the body. A real simple way to make this a progression, so to speak, is to go ahead and hold for time, much like you would hold a plank or a prone bridge. Out of this, we basically would go in directly into a Renegade row. And this is usually a pretty low repetition movement. The reason being is it's challenging. Basically, we're taking one of the fourth leg from out from underneath the table. We're only having 3 legs underneath the table. So it's a very challenging movement. And it's also doing the work for the upper back. Even though the loading may not be quite as much, there's going to be a lot more intensity because the rest of the body is having to work almost just as hard. So here's what it looks like. As you can see, you want to minimize the torquing or skewing from side to side. Really brace to the trunk, squeeze the glutes and legs all the way down to your toes, and just alternate rowing movements. That's the very traditional way to do the Renegade row. These are 2 great exercises to insert into any program. Can be done with dumbbells if you don't have kettlebells. But kettlebells really make this movement excellent as far as challenging the body to stay tight and intense on while you're doing the movement, as opposed to dumbbells where they're pretty flat and solid on the ground. So this has been the progression of the push-up hold progression of the Renegade row and the Renegade row. If you enjoyed this video and looking for more content of similar source, articles and other videos, be sure to stop by our website, www.andersontrainingsystems.com. Hope you enjoyed it.